everywhere.
No, I think that's
And we would love you to read along with us.
All right, I'll try to read well this time.
We can practice.
You do good. I'll practice. You who have sought to lay a judgment on your own Creator cannot understand it is not He who laid a judgment on His Son. You would deny Him His effects, yet have they never been denied. There was no time in which His Son could be condemned for what was causeless and against His will. What your remembering would witness to is but the fear of God. He has not done the thing you fear, no more have you. And so your innocence has not been lost. You need no healing to be healed. In quietness, see in the miracle a lesson of allowing cause to have its own effects and do nothing that would interfere. Well, that's a nice little wrap-up.
Yeah, that is a nice
wrap-up paragraph.
This is very
good.
He has not done the thing you fear. He did not kick you out of heaven and is asking you to do penance to get back. No more have you. You didn't even get kicked out of heaven. You just fell asleep. So you're innocent. You didn't do anything. You didn't separate. You just imagined. We just imagined it. That's what he's saying, huh? So he's saying the best way to wake up is in quietness. Do nothing. Do nothing and let the cause have its own effects. Let yourself be what you really are.
But the kingdom of God is the heaven on earth. Is that correct?
Yeah, the kingdom of God would be
Sonship.
God's thought system about our identity. So
Right.
the experience
Okay.
of our real identity. The kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
When the Bible's referring to the kingdom of heaven, because these are old words, I think that would be the same thing as God's thought system or the paradigm of your real identity or whatever. It's the thought system. Remember, the ego had a kingdom too, which would be the same thing as a world or a thought system about who we are, what we need to do, what makes us happy. The ego has this whole thing. You're a body, so this is what you got to do, and you got to get this, and you got to do that, and you don't. So that's the kingdom of this world, and then the kingdom of heaven is our identity as spirit. What we need to do to find completion there is to give rather than to take. Remember, we've learned all the rules about that kingdom, God's thought system. So that's what it means.
Well, can't we bring the kingdom of God to
Here.
heaven, though, if we see it in
What it's
with the true perspective and
the real world would
reality
be.
of God's reflection?
Yeah, that would be the real world. You would be living in the thought system of God,
Right.
reflecting it here,
Exactly.
and so the kingdom of heaven and earth would be coming together because
Yeah.
you're here, yet you are manifesting and reflecting truth. Rather than serving the worldly kingdom, you're serving the kingdom of heaven, which would be God's thought system. You're reflecting the truth of it and operating under its laws rather than the ego laws. So that's exactly what the Course is telling us many times, and going into great detail about the two
Yeah,
kingdoms, so we
yeah,
can understand what exactly is ego's thought system. So when my mind's doing it or serving it, I know what I'm doing, and I can change my mind, renew it.
There's one sentence here. In quietness, see in the miracle a lesson in allowing cause, capital C, to have its own effects. It kind of reminds me of Emerson's statement that our job is to get out of the way of the divine circuits.
Yes,
Divine
that would
source.
probably.
Yeah.
I think he must be referring to that very thing. Cause and effect sounds like in a circuit, an electrical circuit.
Yeah.
Okay, now do we jump back to Jan, and then over to Karen?
Well, okay, come on. The miracle comes quietly into the mind that stops an instant and is still. It reaches gently from that quiet time and from the mind it healed in quiet then to other minds to share its quietness. And they will join in doing nothing to prevent its radiant extension back into the mind which caused all minds to be. Born out of sharing, there can be no pause in time to cause the miracle delay in hastening to all unquiet minds and bringing them an instant's stillness when the memory of God returns to them. Their own remembering is quiet now,
and what has come to take its place will not be wholly unremembered afterward. Well, that's a great description of the holy instant.
Yes.
I like this born of sharing here, the miracle, and the radiant extension back into the mind which caused all minds to be. I like that born of sharing.
Yeah, because the decision for a miracle is saying, I do not want to continue, because the need to ask for a miracle is that you've seen a difference. You're trying to delineate who's guilty, who's innocent, and so you're saying, no, I want to share innocence. I want to see we're both innocent. So it's born out of the desire to see your brother as yourself. Now your mind, and then in the stillness, now you can receive that awareness that was always there. It was just obscured by our fantasies, our illusions that we're different from